OK, let's get to the other. The big federal issue at the moment is the detainees. Julian, back to you. Just as he started getting some momentum, comes the detention saga again. Is Andrew Giles a drag on your party at the moment?
What we've seen in the Parliament in the last couple of days is frankly bizarre. It's always telling what they don't want to talk about. We've had no questions on Labor's tax cuts, no questions on cost of living relief, no questions on wage rises, the best wage rises for the last 15 years. Andrew Giles is someone I've known since I was 19. He's a person of enormous integrity, and if the opposition are choosing to mistake calmness for weakness, then they're making a serious mistake.
But by being vague on questions and being vague on details, he either doesn't know or he's being deceptive. I mean, both of which are bad for a minister, are they not?
I just think that's nonsense. I mean, if we want to talk about questions from Home Affairs, Andrew stood there and answered every question the last 2 days. And he'll do so again if they want to keep asking the questions and don't want to talk about tax relief, tax cuts and all the other things going on. But to be very clear, if we want to talk about questions on Home Affairs, they don't want to talk about the mess, the shambles that the Home Affairs Department was in, as the Richardson Review revealed. The former minister, a guy called Peter Dutton, overseeing the signing of contracts with criminal syndicates, with people accused of money laundering, of people accused of trying to break US sanctions on Iran. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the Nixon Review, showing that the former immigration minister, a guy called Peter Dutton, presided over an utter shambles, criminal syndicates, human trafficking, misusing our migration system. They don't want to talk about the Parkinson Review, showing that migration policy was non-existent and the broken mess that is the Department of Home Affairs. I mean, this is an attempt at a distraction. What the documents, which the opposition is salivating over from Senate estimates revealed, is the government's utterly relentless focus on community safety in responding to a decision of the High Court. And I'll just finish on that point. I'll say it slowly. Keith was a barrister. He was a gun for hire before he was in the Parliament. High Court of Australia. I mean, is the opposition actually seriously suggesting that any Australian government should not follow the decision of the High Court? It's the
Even though there was a warning,
of the rule of law in our country.
A 5-month warning. Keith, I've got to jump in. Get your thoughts on that.
No, thank you for that, Pete. We need to go back to last year, the September High Court decision of NZYQ. When we put these questions to the government and to the minister, we were told that it was a big surprise, a jack-in-the-box moment where Al-Kateb was overturned and it was unexpected. What we've heard from Senate estimates recently is that there is no way this was unexpected. No way this was unexpected. The Attorney General's office was notified after the directions hearing in June that there was a real prospect that this would be overturned. And let's return to the actual case. This had 100 pages of submissions. And the first line, I've read the submissions, the first line in all of the submissions was that this was the question, whether Al-Kateb would be overturned. Of course, the High Court will make its own decisions on the law, but it's about how you respond. And what we found from this government is that they weren't prepared for that response, and they have shown themselves to be wanting since. This minister is not across the detail and is not across his portfolio.
Keith, Julian, we're out of time. Good to chat to you both, as always. We'll talk to you again soon.